I'm Rob Wheely, and I'm the CEO of Alloy Wheel Repair Specialists. We're the world's largest provider of wheel refinishing, remanufacturing, and wheel replacement. My dad was a car enthusiast, always working on cars of his own and new projects. That passed down to me, and it still grows with me today. Wheels have become the jewelry of the car. People want their wheels to look nice. We provide basic refinishing of wheels. We have remanufacturing facilities that provide extensive repair. We also have put all of our processes through an independent facility that's accredited. You can find those certifications on our website. We do it all. You bring your wheel to us and we'll figure it out. We strive for not just customer service experience, but customer excellence. We want to wow them so they come back each and every time. All of our technicians are trained and certified. We even have a master training course. It's important to love what you do. It's important to make employees feel a part of the team, and they're seeing the same rewards as you do. That's what helps us accomplish our goal. Everybody's our customer. The retail public, dealerships, body shops, insurance companies, warranty companies. We have a claims department. We're the ones that they call to come in and repair it. So if you find yourself in need of wheel refinishing, wheel repair, wheel replacement, or if you just want to custom color your wheels, give us a call. We'll help you find the right location, or you can go to our website. There's a locator on there to find the location closest to you.
Hello everybody, welcome in to Ghost Racing Network, back with the FastTrack Sim Racing Cup Series presented by the Alloy Wheel Repair Specialist. Today we are at Dover, the Monster Mile, getting ready for a good one, 200 miles tonight. Let's jump right into your starting grid. Pace lap's going to be short here. Getting the pole tonight, it is going to be Carl Dodson. Second is going to be Shane Parrish. I do believe this is a new driver. We'll see what he can show for us here tonight. Sean Kaltenbach, last week's winner in thrilling fashion. He's going to be starting third. Scott Naisland, his outside, in fourth. Row 3 will be Tyler Marble with Austin Fitzgerald. 7th, Ryan Shiro. 8th, Andrew Nieder. Brian Watson starts 9th for JBR E-Racing. It's going to be Jeff Marble, his outside, in 10th. Row 6 is going to be Joshua Watson and Scott Glasso. Moving back to 13th, you'll find Danny Gutierrez, the Daytona winner. Cody Colley, 14th. Jacob Musso, 15th. Adrian Watts to his outside in 16th. Brian Conklin and Bill Benedict make up row 9, and it's Cody Richardson and Todd Shiro in row 10. Tracy Powers, Jared Bundy, row 11th. 23rd, Jeff Shutt. 24th, Corey Mott, who is graduating college this week. Congratulations to Corey. See what he can do here tonight. Alan Pajari starts 25th. Kyle Oakley, 26th. 27th, Cody Matthews. Dave Sanders, 28th. Andrew Kotska, 29th. Joe Musso, 30th. 31st, Jerry Isaacs. 32nd, Glenn Grigsby. 33rd, Johnny McCulchuk. 34th, Ryan Haynes. 35th, Brian Curry. And rounding out the field tonight in 36th is going to be Jeffrey Souza. All right, well, it's a short track, so the pace car has already pulled off, and we are looking for the green flag here at Dover. Carl Dodson, Shane Parrish, we're racing at the Monster Mile. Pretty good even start here. We're going to have another. This is kind of usually the way it goes. We're going to have a lot of things to talk about. But you see Carl Dodson already getting out to an early lead as they work their way off turn 2. Sean Kaltenbach going to waste no time either. He's going to take that spot from Shane Parrish right away. Further back, everybody continues to jockey for position as they work down into turn 3. We'll see if this outside line's got anything. It's not proven to be the most efficient here in iRacing. We'll see if any of these guys can find some speed on it tonight. And if they can and they can make it work, boy, look out. You're going to have some fast drivers tonight. Cody Richardson, you see him in the middle there. Looks like the 25 was falling back just a little bit. I believe that is Tracy Powers. Sure enough, it is. They still have not got it sorted out back here, but up front, a little more single file. You see Carl Dodson, and just as I say that, Sean Kaltenbach's going to battle him for the lead here. Down into turn 1, he's got preferred lane. Carl Dodson not going to battle him too hard here either. Kind of lets him go. He's going to drop back down in line. You do see Carl's running about a lane higher there. We'll see if he continues to work that or if he's going to just drop back down. Sure enough, he gets back, but man, you see the nose really struggling in that dirty air behind the 2 car. Loses it, washes up the track just a little bit. How about Shane Parrish here? Only 4 laps in, but this is a new guy, and he's looking really fast off the bat. The driver out of Findlay, I believe that is how you would say it. We got a couple new drivers in the field. We'll try to give them some shout outs here, but up front, already single file, trying to pull away from everybody else is Sean Kaltenbach. But back here, we still got guys bumper to bumper. The 08, Danny Gutierrez, he is not letting the 11 go anywhere at this moment. 200 laps is a long way to go, and especially if we go green all the way, these guys are going to have to make quite a few pit stops. We do have the fuel window. We'll get more into that here. But as everybody kind of gets sorted out here, let's take a look at your track info. We didn't look at it yet, but now's a good time as any to do so. Dover, pretty interesting track, just over a mile in length, but heavy banking in the turns. That's what makes this track so exciting. Track temp here today is going to be 92 degrees. It is the Dover 200 in the FastTrack Sim Racing Cup Series. 100% fuel tonight, as always, 3 sets of tires. No fast repairs, open setups, and 3 green light checkers if we need them. 67 degrees outside with 41% humidity. Cloudy skies and pretty windy here in Dover today, and might play a factor coming in at 16 miles an hour. Back up front, Sean Kaltenbach starting to gap it out just a little bit over half a second here over Carl Dotson. We'll see how everybody's going to play their strategy out. This is going to be a race where if you have the better long-run car, you are going to prevail. It doesn't matter how you look at it. Dover is always one of the most grueling tracks for these guys, and of the season, if you can win here, you create a lot of momentum for yourself. I believe we will probably come back here at one point in the season. However, I'm not sure. We'll get that later on as we go, but we talked about there's going to be green flag pit stops. Going to be a decent amount of, well, not a decent amount. They can go pretty far on fuel. It's looking like fuel run in general is somewhere between 60 and 90 laps. So nobody, I wouldn't think, is going to be able to make it on one stop. We'll have to see when the leaders decide to pit. We'll kind of base it off of there. But Sean Kaltenbach has led just about every one of them so far, as we are now 10 laps through this 200-mile affair. I tell you what, I thought the restart would maybe be a little more dicey, but everybody kept it nice and clean. Everybody's getting settled into a rhythm here nice and early. Jeffrey Souza back here running in 35th. Glenn Grigsby currently last on the track in 36th. We're going to go up from there, taking a look at everybody throughout the field. Bill Benedict just takes that, or loses that spot now to Jeffrey Souza, who moves up to 34th. Ooh, we have one on the apron right here. Gets it back up. That was the one of Corey Mott. Oh, we got one in the wall. Big hit for Ryan Haynes. First yellow is out. Man, you saw a little chaos going on right there. All of a sudden, he got loose, and when that thing snapped back, there is nowhere to hide here at Dover. And this is going to end Ryan Haynes' day for sure. Big impact for the 39. Let's go take a look at this. You saw all 4 tires get off the ground. And how's this going to start here? You see the one. Actually, this is going to start ahead. Let's back this up a little bit here. This is coming out of the turn just about. You see the one there. That's Corey Mott. He's going to get on the apron, but this doesn't really start with him. Oh, man, the 10. Cody Matthews. Did he just get loose here? I think he did. Let's go look from the chopper view. Or does he try to clear himself? Oh, they just get under the catwalk. Ooh, there's actually some contact there. Looks like maybe the 10 thought he had a little more room. Ryan Haynes maybe getting a little hotter into the corner than he expected. 10 gets down onto the apron here. Now he's trying everything possible to save it. Fortunately, it's just not going to stay. Gets up into the 39. That sends the 39 into the outside wall with absolutely nowhere to go. Take a look here at Cody Matthews in just a moment. He may have gotten some more damage from it. Get a couple more views of it here, though. Oh, and Cody Matthews, sure enough, did. Oh, man, this thing continues down the front straightaway. Looks like Bill Benedict and Cody Matthews were the ones that got some more damage from it. Let's take a couple more views here. There's the hit for Ryan Haynes, and then here's Cody Matthews. Actually, that's Johnny McCallchuck that he got down into, excuse me. There's Bill Benedict rolling by, so pretty good damage for the 10 car as well. And just when you think everybody's sorting it out early, we're going to get an early caution, and Dover's one of those tracks. Cautions do breed cautions. We'll have to see how it pans out. But going back live and up front, Sean Kaltenbach is your current leader. Carl Dotson second, Scott Naslin third, Andrew Nieder at fourth, and Shane Parrish rounding out the top 5. Well, we had another new driver in the field, and I want to give him a shout out here, and that is Adrian Watts in the 03 machine. You see, it looks like the 08, and we were mistaking him for Danny Gutierrez just a little bit earlier because those two, both kind of similar schemes, but Danny Gutierrez, of course, running the black and teal 08. Thought maybe I just missed something, but nope, sure enough, Adrian Watts, and I'm sure they'll have that fixed in the next couple weeks, but good looking Ryko paint scheme there. Jeff Marble, a couple positions ahead of this guy. Tyler Marble as well. And I'll tell you what, these two, Tyler Marble and Jeff Marble rather, they looked really, really fast last week at Talladega. Things did not quite go their way at the end. Jeff Marble got separated from his Team Marble iRacing teammate, and unfortunately that made it just about impossible for Tyler to get the win versus 3 of the Team Watson Racing drivers at the end, but valiant effort brought home a top 3 finish, and he's got momentum here tonight at Dover. We know though that especially Jeff Marble, Tyler's pretty much the same way, but for focusing on Jeff, this is one of those guys that he's probably one of the kings of the long run, and if we get a long run, that's usually the kind of setup that they sway to over at Team Marble iRacing, and I think he'll be really fast. Dover is not an easy track to pass, at least not until the tires start to get worn out. When guys start to struggle at handling, that's going to be everybody's chance to pounce and pick up some track position. But we'll see what happens here. It's still looking like it might be borderline now for a one-stop. It's going to be close, but we'll have to see if these guys can go green for a little bit first. Scott Naslin gets a little blinky, gets it sorted out. Carl Dodson, Sean Kaltenbach, row 1. Andrew Niedert, Scott Naslin, row 2. Rolling up into the Geico restart zone off of turn 4. Green flag is back in the air at Dover. Pretty good start here for both the front and second row, but diving down into turn 1. Sean Kaltenbach's looking for the advantage. Carl Dodson trying to fight up top. Looking a little further back. Joshua Watson, he's fast every week. Watch for the 01 to get up. Ooh, the 29. Really try to get the throttle off of turn 2. Maybe just tap the wall. But he's giving Sean Kaltenbach about all he can handle right here off of turn 4. How long can he make it stick? Carl Dodson is still there. He's getting the momentum down the front straightaway. Loses it on entry to the corner. Sean Kaltenbach's going to try to use him up just a little bit here. Gets that big arc off the turn, but they still continue to stay side by side. I wonder if this will give anybody a chance to get up here and maybe have a battle for the lead, but Carl Dodson, he gets clear here off of turn 4, and he is going to gladly accept the lead from Sean Kaltenbach. Just when you think the outside's not working, one driver figures it out. We'll see if anybody else takes note. Brian Watson, he's trying to get the outside working right now. He's got his teammate Joshua Watson looking to his inside here, the 66. Ooh, man, door to door, almost some contact between him and Shane Parrish. Taking a look at the dashboard. Dover's interesting because it's kind of like a bigger Bristol. A lot faster, a lot more banking. And you got to think about it this way. This track is only a mile. That's just half a mile longer than Bristol. Look at the speeds these guys are running. At the end of the straightaway, we are getting into the 170s. Low, almost mid 170s down into the corner. The slowest speeds right now, upper 140s. So by no means does this race like a short track, but much more like a mile and a half. And Sean Kaltenbach early was able to pick up the lead from Carl Dodson, and he kind of held on, but looks like Dodson's a little faster right now. We'll see if Sean Kaltenbach can track it back down as these tires start to wear out just a little bit. Further back, Shane Parrish is starting to fall a couple positions side by side with Scott Glasso, who runs on the outside. Cody Richardson still hanging out in front of Tyler Marble. That is the final 10th position that 48 car is holding his teammate. Jeff Marble's hanging just behind him at 11th. Adrian Watts, 12th. Ryan Shiro, 13th. Cody Colley, 14th. Tracy Powers, 15th. Austin Fitzgerald, the Atlanta winner, in 16th. Andrew Kotska, 17th. Already up 12 spots from where he started, by the way. Danny Gutierrez sits 18th. Dave Sanders, 19th. Brian Curry, 20th. Jerry Isaacs, 21st. He is another driver on the move, up 10 spots from where he started. Alan Pajarian, 23rd. Todd Shiro falling back a couple spots in 24th. Brian Conklin also going the wrong way. He sits 25th. Ooh, that's the 96 of Jeffrey Souza. He's up into the outside wall. He's keeping it up there to avoid hitting anybody else. The whole field's going to get by. He's going to get off, but that looked like maybe he was just getting a little too tight. And once you get in the wall here at Dover, it's a little hard to get off. He is going to bring that 96 Ford Mustang right down to the pits. Doesn't want to waste any time riding around with damage. Dover is an easy place to go multiple laps down. He doesn't want to experience that. Ryan Haynes, Cody Matthews, both off track, by the way. Jacob Musso is not on the lead lap. Glenn Grigsby, 32nd. Bill Benedict, 31st. Kyle Oakley sitting 30th. Johnny McCulchuk, 29th. Corey Mott, 28th. Jared Bundy, 27th. And we got up to Brian Conklin, who's 26th. Jeff Shutt, 25th. Back up front, though, the gap has kind of been hanging around the same. 0.3 of a second for Carl Dodson over Sean Kaltenbach. Tell you what, we're going to have a new thing for these guys next week. Look out for it here. You'll see on this driver info, the information in the bottom. We're going to start putting these guys' wins tallies next to them. And Carl Dotson right now doesn't have any. And that's surprising because we have seen him be so fast at a handful of tracks this season. And whether it's just maybe losing the speed in the long run or something not working out, take Bristol as a prime example. We talked about Dover's like a bigger Bristol. Well, the most dominant guy at Bristol, well, maybe most dominant too, is Joshua Watson and Carl Dotson. Carl Dotson got the lead after Joshua Watson had some misfortune off the front bumper. And he spun it by himself. There was no contact. Him and Sean Kaltenbach both got the bad end of the stick, ruined both of their chances at winning that race. And now they're back here at Dover. We'll see if maybe they can correct any of those mistakes. Of course, Sean Kaltenbach does have a win on the season now. He's got a little more confidence. Did hear one tap the wall back here. Andrew Kotska, that is one of the Mad Sim Racing drivers, is going to lose that position to Brian Curry. That is for 18th. Watching Curry here, he's been slowly moving through the field. Very methodical here at Dover. You can't get him all in one lap. So it makes it a long run track. But Danny Gutierrez, you see him running that bottom line. Brian Curry, kind of more of an arc. Let's ride on board with a couple people here throughout the field. Let's start with Brian Curry. Many drivers describe Dover as kind of a roller coaster ride, and you'll see why here. Currently working his way through turns 1 and 2. See how it kind of comes off the banking, car jumps up a little bit. Interesting to note, everybody looks like they're running 4th gear for the most part here. Big steep descent down into the banking, heavy banking, and then back out of it here for down the front straightaway. Gets a bit of a draft here off Danny Gutierrez. These three kind of all stuck in each other's dirty air. You see Austin Fitzgerald leading this 3-car battle. That is now for 16th. See how much longer they fight before they try to get by. Sean Kaltenbach still sitting in that same spot. He's been searching around just a little bit for clean air. Moved up about half a lane over Carl Dotson. I think Carl might have saw that because he also shifted his lane up just a tiny bit. Looking at the track map though here, lap traffic is going to come into play sooner or later. It's just a matter of when. And when they do, that's a chance to pounce. Sean Kaltenbach closed it up about a 10th right there. Maybe finding something. Joshua Watson, he's moved up to 3rd. He's looking to get in this battle. Andrew Neidhart, Sean Kaltenbach's teammate, 4th. Scott Naslin, 5th. Cody Richardson up 13 spots from where he started. He currently sits in 6th. Looked like maybe just an ever so slight scuff to that left side. No, maybe not. Might just be the way the paint looks. Ooh. I think he just kissed the wall on the straightaway. Man, that was close. But, you know, we kind of saw this a little bit with Cody Matthews' accident. Not too much. The straightaways here at Dover are also banked. And that makes it to where if there's a crash here, you're going to hit the wall. It doesn't matter which way you look at it. These guys are running way too fast and too close to not make contact with anything. Ryan Haynes had nowhere to go. He was probably going still 130 in the corner. When he hit that outside wall, it was very unforgiving. Looking back a little bit here, Jerry Isaacs in the 34 of Alan Pajari. They are currently battling for 20th. Andrew Kotska is ahead of these guys, and that's Dave Sanders. That's sitting too far back. He would like to get a little bit closer to the front. Kind of getting to that summer stretch part of the season here, of course. In the Real Life NASCAR Cup Series, they're getting ready for that summer stint now, and that's a time where we're going to see guys kind of take over, maybe make a name for themselves, and some guys are really going to struggle through it as we approach the mid part of the season, midsummer-ish. We'll take a look at the upcoming schedule just a little bit, but there's not really any super speedways or any there's a couple short tracks. Actually, we do head to North Wilkesboro for the All-Star race. Going to be interesting there. But up front, still Carl Dotson, and just as we thought Sean Kaltenbach was catching, that gap has faded back now to 0.7 of a second. Check how close he gets to this wall off the turns. Joshua Watson, he might be looking to close the gap here a little bit. He's got it at just over a second right now, running the middle line. Fun fact for the day is that Dover is actually concrete. Another name for it is the Concrete Mile. I don't want to say it's a very stable track to run. It's not the case. And by the way, Sean Kaltenbach here, see, he is actually running in 5th gear. Let's compare that to your leader, Carl Dotson. It's like also in 5th gear. It'll be interesting to see if we hear any shifting. Looking for one of these guys that maybe is doing that. Scott Glatzo running in 4th gear. That is what you get when you get open setups. Everybody just running a completely different gear ratio, different set. So it keeps it exciting here for the Fast Track Sim Racing Cup Series. 37 of 200 in. We are going to take a quick side-by-side break, first for the night, but we'll be back. Carl Dotson still leading the way here at the Monster Mile Dover Motor Speedway. We're not quite a fourth through this race just yet, and he is starting to make a pretty significant gap. Well, actually, Sean Kaltenbach has fallen off big time. Boy, that car is just, must not be working. The balance is just not there anymore. He is all the way back to fifth from second. That has handed second place over to Joshua Watson, Scott Naslin third, Shane Parrish fourth. And now Sean Kaltenbach is just about ready to be under fire from Cody Richardson in the 46. One of the biggest movers, the biggest mover towards the front, up 13 positions. That sixth place position. Andrew Nieder, that is Sean Kaltenbach's teammate. He is also fading a little bit here in seventh. Scott Glasso eighth, Tyler Marble ninth, and Jeff Marble 10th now. Keep an eye on these two, maybe these three. Adrian Watts sitting 11th. He is on the back bumper of that 15 car. We're not in that long run mode just yet. We're starting to get to the middle portion of that run. Remember, we went green with just under 20 laps to go. So you got to expect the pit window to probably open anywhere between lap 80 and lap 110. And that's where it becomes a strategy of, do we maybe see somebody try to stretch it out? It would be really close. If guys can make it 90 laps, there's a chance they could make it a one stop from here if you pit somewhere around lap 110. And it very well might be your only pit stop. Going back through the field here a little bit more. Andrew Kotska is going to look to the inside of Ryan Shiro in the 20 car. 47 went the wrong way initially on the start, but he's starting to get it back a little bit here now. Brian Curry, we talked about him. He is up 20 from where he started now in 15th. Going back here to Jacob Musso, 33rd. Looks like Cody Matthews has returned to the track, but is not on the lead lap. In fact, more than just a handful of laps down, Jeffrey Souza and Ryan Haynes are now the two cars off track. And I'm a little surprised to see Souza park it for now. We saw him make some contact with the wall. It didn't seem like it was, you know, a night ender, but either way, the 96 has retired early here. Joshua Watson, I thought maybe he would close the gap. Ooh, Joe Musso, excuse me, has maybe had an issue here. He has parked that. Let's see what happened here. Yep, the 93, he just parked it. Did he hit anything here? Did he just maybe get a little loose on the front stretch? Cannot tell here. See, he's arcing it. Oh man, big wiggle, but heck of a save. My goodness. He had his hands full, but he held on to it, and then he gets down on the apron here, and oh, he's going to get in the grass. Oh, man, I'll tell you what, that's what's going to happen. Oh, my goodness, that was a very close call. Then once he slides back down to the grass, he is just going to tow it. Wow, so tell you what, we almost saw our second caution of the night. Joe Musa was doing everything in his power to hold on to that thing. It was not easy. Scott Naslund currently sitting in third. Shane Parrish still running around the top 5 right now. If this guy can put on a show like this for the rest of the season, even though he wasn't here for the whole season, might have a Rookie of the Year candidate right there, as it looks like, I believe that might have been Joe coming back out on track now. No, that is actually the one of Corey Mott. A little bit of a hard track to merge on here, and he is still looking pretty slow. Ooh, big damage on that one. What happened? That thing is destroyed. Oh my goodness. Something happened here to the one. We'll take a look at it in just a second. He's going to have to retire that to pit road immediately. He's got it on just about all corners. Let's back this up here. See it. This, you got to assume this maybe happened somewhere 1 and 2. No, even further back than that. This is coming off of turn 4. Ooh, you see it starting to wiggle on him right here. Is he going to overcorrect? Oh, man, it's so easy to do here. Dover, he's trying to save it just a little bit too far to the right. Slams the outside wall, and then what did we say earlier? Nowhere to go, and where does he go? Right back down to the inside wall to give a big hit to both sides, and another optimistic driver is getting tamed by the monster here early. As Corey Mott sits on pit road. Carl Dotson, he's making the monster look pretty weak right now. He has got a almost 3-second gap now with Joshua Watson. He is hoping this thing goes green the rest of the way. As long as he makes no mistakes on pit stops, you got to assume that gap will continue to stretch as the race goes on. We did talk about lap traffic. Haven't seen it be too much of a factor just yet. That's because he hasn't caught any. Look at your track map. Carl Dotson is that little number 1 dot that you see working its way out of turn 2. You see those cars ahead of him? Not too bad. It'll kind of be, it'll catch a little bit of lap traffic. And then that middle part that you see working down the front stretch, eventually he will catch up to that. And that's where you really start to worry about, is anybody going to hold him up? Does maybe one of the lap cars get into a spin right in front of him? I mean, we saw that in the real life cup race today, so you never know what can happen here at Dover. Ooh, the 46. Cody Richardson, that time he did tag the outside wall in 8th. He might be starting to get a little tight as well. The 08, well, the 03 rather, but it looks like the 08 of Adrian Watts is going to sneak by. And Austin Fitzgerald, we saw struggling a bit in this run. He might have a long run car. He is starting to make up some position. Ooh, Cody Richardson tags the apron there just a little bit. It's kind of the line that drivers run here. I mean, we've seen the outside line, don't get me wrong, but watch the 46. He's going to kind of try to get as low as he can on entry. Sometimes you get a little too low if your car is a little free on entry and you hook that apron. It's a pretty abrupt transition. Thing does not handle too well. Right on Cody Richardson's left front. You saw it right there. He gets all but the front tire on that apron, throttles it up, trying to get in it as soon as he can. And now Carl Dotson is finally starting to see the first hints of lap traffic in his windshield here. Gap is at 4 seconds, so he's got plenty of time to maneuver around everybody, but that is because Joshua Watson now is battling with Scott Naslund. This is for second right now. Scott Naslund, oh man, there was almost contact right there. Maybe there was even a little bit. The 66 of Shane Parrish is going to try to take advantage of both of these guys. He also is going to go around the inside here of Joshua Watson. The 01 not going to give it up too easy here. He's fighting back on the outside. It's kind of like momentum versus the shorter distance around the track. The inside is the place to be. In the middle of the corner, ooh, Joshua Watson wiggled again. Boy, he is also struggling with the handling. Let's ride on board with him. And you hear he's really not scrubbing the front tires all that aggressive. Off the turn here, takes a little bit more of an arc. He's going to try to work his way back around the 66. Going to try the inside, though. Really sends it in there. He's kind of trying to match the 66's throttle traces. He's going to hang even with him here off the turn. Adrian Watts was looking fast on the inside. Maybe not so much on that outside line. Austin Fitzgerald looking to the inside here of Adrian Watts. By the way, that was Shane Parrish. Didn't mean to say Adrian Watts. They are the two rookies in the field tonight. Corey Mott as well. Up to 7th now for Austin Fitzgerald. And who did we talk about? We're going to be two of the guys with fast long run cars. That's these two right here, the two teammates. You'd almost guess they're on identical setups. just running maybe slightly different lines. Not the case here, but Jeff Marble and Tyler Marble are now up to 5th and 6th position. Remember, they were back around the top 10 position the last couple times we talked about them. But as the run goes on, they're just going to keep picking them off. They get better and better the longer we go green. Cody Richardson has fallen back to 10th now. Danny Gutierrez, pretty good run for the JBR e-racing driver. Remember, he did win Daytona at the beginning of the season, so he's already got himself locked into the playoffs. But he would certainly like to continue that momentum. In fact, we've talked about this for the last couple weeks, but all of JBR e-racing in general. You can look here, Brian Curry for Team Watson Racing just in front of Andrew Kotska, but all of JBR e-racing in general they were so fast right out of the gate for speed weeks. And we have still seen a lot of speed from Joshua Watson. We saw some from Brian Watson last week, but whether it be bad luck, missing a teammate that week, such as Richard Elliott, or just the speed has just not been there recently for most of JBR e-racing. Got a long way to go still. We'll see if those guys can figure it out, but ooh, one on the apron there. That was the 6. I believe that's Jared Bundy. Sure enough, it is, and this is looking, tell you what, that damage looks just about the same as what we saw from Corey Mott. And let's take a look. I think this is going to be the same incident, getting maybe loose off turn 4, slamming the outside, then maybe the inside, and sure enough, here we go. You see the 6, he's just getting loose. He's trying to save it. The thing is just not turning. And actually, he did turn it back to the right, but ran out of room, hits that inside wall, luckily avoids the outside wall. Still big damage, though, on the 6 car. Not a coincidence that is the second car we've seen with major handling issues get into the inside wall, but one of the guys that has not had any handling issues right now is Carl Dotson. He is putting on an absolute clinic right now. Almost has the gap on second place up to 4.5 seconds. The only driver in the field that has been on the move forward. I mean, that first short run we had before the caution, Sean Kaltenbach took the lead. Thought he'd be pretty dominant. Carl Dotson comes out the second run, fights him off on the outside, takes it over, and has not looked back since then. We're still probably about 20 to 30 laps away from the pit stop. Looking fast here, though. We'll see, can Scott Naisland find anything to make something happen? Jeff Marble has gotten around his teammate Tyler Marble, and he's starting to put a gap on him. Austin Fitzgerald's still moving his way through the field. Let's go a little farther back here, though, because we're already seeing guys go a lap down, and we're seeing guys that have retired from the race. Ryan Haynes, Jeffrey Souza, Joe Musso. They have all retired from the race. As of right now, Corey Mott is still sitting on the pits. Cody Matthews back out on track, but he is 12 laps down. Scott Glasso looks like he is currently not on track, and neither is Jared Bundy. He sits in the pits. Glenn Grigsby, as of right now, is the last car on track. Fortunately, he is not on the lead lap. You can see this here on your scoring tower as it scrolls down. A lot of these guys aren't just one lap either. In fact, Glenn Grigsby, can't tell. I believe he's maybe only one lap down, maybe a couple. Jacob Musso, 28th. Todd Shiro, 27th. Ryan Shiro, 26th. Dave Sanders, 25th. Andrew Nieder, 24th. And we got a mess right here. 2x2 for Couple Rows. Sean Kaltenbach, he is still fading right now, but not fading in the wrong way in this battle. This is all lap traffic. He's trying to work his way around it here. Andrew Nieder, can he get the best of him? Actually, I take that back. Hold on, give me just a second here. It was not lap traffic, I don't believe. Actually, Sean Kaltenbach had just... Am I missing something here? We may have had some guys potentially start to pit. Let's see if we can figure this out. And it's looking like here... We may have had some pit stops here. I'll tell you what, sure enough, that's what happened. This is a little earlier than I would have expected here. We know that the fuel window was somewhere between 60 to 80. But your leaders are in the pits, including Carl Dotson. That looked like Jeff Shutt, who was just working his way out of the pits. So I apologize for a little bit of confusion there. The thing about Dover here is when you pit, whether you're the leader or not, as we see Carl Dotson come to a stop in his pit stall there, you are going to lose at least one lap, if not a couple more. Goal is to try to get off pit road as quick as possible. He's going to take 4 tires, fill this thing up with fuel. But if caution were to come out right now, that would really not be ideal for Carl Dotson. He'd be at risk of losing multiple positions. That is going to hand over the lead to Scott Naisland. It'll be interesting to see how long he stays out. And I think Carl Dotson may be choosing his strategy just off raw speed. We talked about maybe there was a chance that some of these guys could make it on one stop. But Carl Dotson had such a big lead, and he's been so fast, there's no point in trying to stretch it if he wants. I think he knows he can pit twice here and just run it as hard as possible the rest of the way, and I think he will still have the best track position. We'll have to see. Again, it's going to depend on when Scott Naslund chooses to pit. Cody Colley currently sits second, up 12 spots from where he started getting a little TV time here in that 11 machine. Tracy Powers just behind him in third. Alan Pajari fourth. Bill Benedict fifth, and going a little further back, we're going to see a lot more pit stops. Johnny McCulchuk was sixth. He pits now. Shane Parrish, Carl Dotson, he is back out on track. We'll see how long before that lead gets back relinquished from Scott Naslund over to Carl Dotson. So we do still have some guys that have not pit yet, and we'll see how they choose to cycle out. Brian Curry, Joshua Watson, Jacob Musso all coming off the pits now. And, ooh, I'll tell you what, the two of Sean Kaltenbach looking like he may have a little damage. See if we can get a better view of this here. Oh, man, yeah, the left side actually is pretty beat up. So he must have had contact. Not sure where he got all this contact from, but we continue to see more and more cars getting left side damage tonight, and eventually you got to think it'll probably draw a caution. Everybody has done a good job of keeping it down or up so far. Minus one caution that we did have tonight, but man, Miles the Monster is hungry tonight, continues to take cars out. Johnny McCulchuk, Cody Matthews going to come off the pits together. Looks like Cody Matthews is going to stay low. Johnny McCulchuk blending back up the track. Carl Dotson is currently a lap down. He's looking to get that lap back as soon as possible and hoping that nobody wrecks right now. But we would have a ton of guys trapped a lap down or more right now if we were to get a caution, and that might work out for your current leader, Alan Pajari, Cody Colley, Tracy Powers, and well, not Shane Parrish. Shane Parrish did pit, but your leader, Scott Naslund, man, excuse me, he is also in the pits right now. We will await to see them exit the pits. Alan Pajari and Bill Benedict currently sitting 1-2. Carl Dotson got his lap back, and that is now going to put Cody Richardson in the lucky dog position. Here's a look at Cody Colley and the 25 of Tracy Powers making their way off of pit road now. Pit road here, we didn't really talk about it at the time, but it is one of the more difficult pit roads to go to. We'll show you pit lane 2. Look where this pit is, and in fact, let's actually go up here to Carl Dotson, and I'll show you what I'm talking about here. We'll ride off his front nose. I want you to look to the left. We already talked about this transition is pretty difficult from the banking to the apron. Pit road speed here at Dover is really, really slow. I believe it might actually be 40 or 45 miles an hour. And going from 150s in the corner down to 45 with that abrupt transition is not easy. And I think we're going to get a lot of guys caught speeding here tonight. Bill Benedict still out on track. He is the only one. Everybody else has pit and cycled through. Carl Dotson is looking to put Brian Curry here a lap down. We'll see if he can do it. I guess in this case actually would be maybe another lap down here for Brian Curry. 81 laps of 200 in, so we're not even halfway yet. Looking at the scoring tower, you see just how many of them are a lap down. And a lot of them are going 2 laps down. We talked about Brian Curry is in danger of going another one down here. He is trying to hold on. I'm not sure if he's actually on the lead lap or not. Bill Benedict, though, once he pits, it's going to put everybody back on the lead lap. You actually see a decent amount of them have just gotten it back, and that's because the difference between new tires and old tires at a track like Dover is absolutely tremendous. We'll take a look at it here. Bill Benedict, look at his laps. We'll compare 2 of his better laps in this 4-lap run, a 24.6 and a 24.7. You compare that to your leader, and this isn't even on fresh tires, over a second faster, sometimes over a second and a half faster. If you know you're racing, that is a ton of time on new tires. It might even be close to 2 seconds, 2.5 seconds even. But Carl Dotson has got that gap down to 9 seconds. Who did Bill Benedict? I heard somebody get in the wall. I don't think it was actually Bill Benedict, but he's going to have to pit sooner or later here. Looks like the only driver that is maybe trying some strategy in order for him to make it the rest of the way. You got to think he'd have to wait till at least lap 110. Just don't know if I'm seeing that right now. We'll have to see how it pans out, though. Dave Sanders in the 77. He's going by, looking back. Glenn Grigsby, 25th. Not a bad run either. For the independent driver in the 64, Brian Watson is going by him. 51 of Jerry Isaacs. He's going to be looking here just a moment. Tyler Marble and Jeff Marble, they still run 8th and 9th. Well, I guess bumper to bumper if you want to call it, but 8th and 9th position. Scott Naslin at 7th, Shane Parrish 6th, Andrew Nieder 5th, Austin Fitzgerald and Cody Richardson were probably the two biggest beneficiaries during that pit cycle. Cody Richardson is up to 3rd and 16th position, and Austin Fitzgerald currently sitting 4th. Well, everybody's staying pretty single file. It's a good time to go through our weekly schedule and points update. Let's look at where we're going next. It's going to be Kansas. That's a track I'm really excited for. That is an extremely fast track. It might see speeds close to 200, at least in the upper 180s. But you're going to see guys running all but inches from the wall. That's where you see the most speed and what makes Kansas kind of a trademark track. Then we head to Darlington, the Lady in Black. After that, the All-Star race back to that short track that we were talking about, North Wilkesboro. Very excited for that one. Going to be a great race. Then we head to Charlotte for the 3rd of the 5 no bull races. Gateway, Sonoma. And then we have a bye week before we head to Nashville Super Speedway. To be determined after that. And then Atlanta for 130 laps. Looking at the points, Joshua Watson came in leading. Be interesting to see what happens after that, because Jeff Marble has started to close the gap on Joshua Watson, especially with a pretty good finish for Jeff last week and a bad finish, unfortunately, for Joshua Watson. Tyler Marble 3rd, Cody Richardson 4th, Austin Fitzgerald 5th, Alan Pajari 6th, Andrew Nieder at 7th, Carl Dotson 8th, Scott Glasso 9th, and Brian Watson running at your top 10. Of course, we did note earlier, and we're going to try to make a little thing for it from now on. Last week's winner was Sean Kaltenbach. He got it done at Talladega in the Capital Auto Talladega 250. And we are going to have a transfer for the lead here in turns 1 and 2. It's going to be Carl Dotson taking it from Bill Benedict. Bill Benedict still committing to the strategy of staying out. You got to wonder, was he hoping for a caution, or is this part of that fuel strategy? At this point, even if it was, he's not going to be able to get himself the win, but maybe improve his finishing position nonetheless. There goes the one of Corey Mott, who had damage from an incident earlier where he did get into the outside and the inside wall. Cody Colley, he's going to go around as well, followed by the 25 of Tracy Powers. Tracy Powers running a new paint scheme here tonight. We didn't really note it, but I certainly did notice. Looks like the Virgin, I believe that's Virgin Air or Virgin Galactic, something. Good looking colors though for the 25 this week. So the next biggest competitor right now for Carl Dotson is Cody Richardson, because he currently sits 3rd. As we know, Bill Benedict is going to continue to fall back, but he has an 8.5 second gap, so he has almost doubled it since what we saw before the pit cycles, now over what is going to become 2nd place. See, Bill Benedict continues to fall rapidly. This did get a bunch of guys back on the lead lap. We might not be done just yet, but it looks like we got about 18 or 19 currently sitting on the lead lap. 18. Looks like Jeff Shutt in the 27 Capital Auto car is the last guy currently on the lead lap. So if we get a caution, Brian Conklin, he would get the lucky dog, and I think we'd see a lot of pits. It'd be interesting to see if we'd see everybody pit, and if so, would we see the guys that are lapped down or more stay out and try to get a free pass? Hard to say. 93 of 200 laps in though here at Dover. Let's do a crank it up. That's going to do it for tonight's segment of Crank It Up. I hope everybody did enjoy. Out front, it's still Carl Dotson, but we have had a change of position. For second, third, and fourth, Shane Parrish has taken over that second spot. How about the rookie with an extremely impressive run here at Dover? Scott Naisland sits third now, Austin Fitzgerald fourth, and Cody Richardson. Kind of as we saw in the earlier run, this thing is starting to fade, and right now he is trying desperately to hold on for what is hopefully his second and final pit stop of the night, under green at least. See Jeff Marble and Tyler Marble going by now. Looks like Paige says in the chat, is it just me or are the comments empty? It was like that for a while last night too, but they eventually showed up, lol. And I'm assuming, I'm guessing you mean in the YouTube thing, and if that's the case, let me know a little bit more. I'm assuming that you're talking about the comments that you guys are writing not showing up till late. Is that what? If so, I'm not sure, and I can look into that, try to fix it. But I'm not sure if that's what you're talking about or if it's something different. But either way, thank you for letting me know. Tell you what, I know a lot of guys in here are drivers watching, but anybody that's a family member or at home watching, we certainly always appreciate if you feel free to leave us a comment so I know that it's not just a bunch of robots watching me talk for 2 hours. But either way, the racing tonight has been pretty good. It has been a very, very green race. We hope to keep it that way. And it's always refreshing to have one of these, even though sometimes for the viewers at home, maybe it is not the most exciting race. And I'll tell you what, as a driver on track, it certainly is. Because it really comes down to track position. And Paige says, yes, the comments on YouTube. Well, I just saw that comment, and I'm assuming you typed it, so it popped up pretty quick from when you heard it. But in terms of, if you just mean the comments are empty, I think it's just, yeah, nobody's just really typing anything. Don't get me wrong, sometimes on here I think I'm talking to a brick wall. I ask, how's the audio, and no one says anything. But glad that there is somebody out there watching and letting us know. But I think that is indeed what you're talking about, Paige. Parrish, the gap is at 8 seconds, 8/10, almost 10 seconds now. So it's starting to flatten out a little bit, but it's definitely not really closing down just yet. Carl Dotson has been working through lap traffic with no problems. Let's go back, give you a running order here from the back on up. Ryan Haynes, he's off track. So is Jeffrey Souza and Joe Musso, Cody Matthews, Corey Mott. They are also not on track. Kyle Oakley has retired. Scott Glasso in 30th. He is the last car on track in 30th. Jared Bundy 29th. Todd Sherrill on pit road in 28th. Jacob Musso 27th. Glenn Grigsby 26th. Sean Kaltenbach 25th. Joshua Watson 24th. Johnny McCallchuk 23rd. Bill Benedict 22nd. Dave Sanders 21st. Alan Pajari 20th. Brian Conklin 19th. Jeff Shutt 18th. Jerry Isaacs 17th. Tracy Powers in 16th. Cody Colley 15th. Ryan Watson in 14th. Ryan Shiro 13th. Brian Curry 12th. Andrew Kotska 11th. Getting into your top 10, it's going to be Andrew Nieder. Danny Gutierrez 9th. Good run here for Danny. Adrian Watts as well, another rookie in the field, currently sits 8th. Cody Richardson 7th. Tyler Marble 6th. Austin Fitzgerald 5th. And Jeff Marble, the long run continuing to prevail for him. He is up to 4th. Still has a long way to go if he's wanting any chance at catching your leader. But you never know here what the 15 is capable of. Rocking the alloy wheel repair specialist paint scheme. Scott Naisland in 3rd. Shane Parrish 2nd. And rounding out, well, not rounding out, but leading the way, of course, is going to be Carl Dotson. You know, we're not supposed to be too optimistic here up in the broadcast booth, and I know he's encountering a lot of lap traffic. You just saw him get by Brian Watson. Now he's working around the 20 of Ryan Shiro. Sometimes they get caught. You catch the lap traffic at a bad time, either off the corner, maybe they're running your line in the corner. It can certainly tick off some time, but Shane Parrish, he has ticked off about a second from your current leader, Carl Dotson. We'll just keep an eye on it. It's still plenty of a gap, and there's still a pit stop to go. Just something to note. And based off when we saw the guys pit earlier, I think that final pit stop is maybe going to come somewhere after at least lap 120. Maybe, actually, you know what? Come to think of it, maybe more towards lap 130 to 140. But we'll have to see what strategies people decide to do. Looks like now people have decided to chat. Paige woke everybody up. Apparently, Joe Williamson says, go Danny G in the 08. Danny Gutierrez, this could be his second best finish of the season. after that win that he got to kick off the season at Daytona, which no matter which way you look at it, he will automatically have some momentum in just about every race because he won the biggest one of the season. Troy Elliott says, hopefully this will be the last week of meetings and I can get back to the track, and that is Richard Elliott. We certainly miss you out here, Richard, and I know JBR Racing is probably wondering where their fourth teammate is, but we know that life gets in the way. Rooting on his JBR Racing teammates, though, and we'll see what happens. Paige says, I did lull, but I'm the only one in the comments. Usually there's quite a few others in the comments. Maybe everyone is just quiet tonight. Just wanted to make sure. And, of course, as soon as I said that it was the only race, a couple others popped into the comments section. I think we're all good. It's pretty funny indeed, but up front, Carl Dotson, that is who we're going to look to pit. I haven't really seen anybody else pit just yet. We are continuing to see guys get ticked at least a lap down, if not more, in the battle behind Sean Kaltenbach right now. Looking at that, what does it look like? Todd Shiro. Todd Shiro in the iRacing Flags paint scheme. I think the 3 still has one of my favorite paint schemes. I'm telling you what. If anybody ever has any ideas for any Ghost Racing Network items, boy, I'd sure love to get one of these. But they are the sponsor of the Truck Series, and they make some cool items, so definitely go check them out. iRacingFlag.com. Get a big LED light. I believe it goes, and it doesn't only just go yellow. I believe it does other things. Good stuff. Sean Kaltenbach, after he got that damage, has just not been the same. And while not really the same way that his race ended at Bristol, similar thing where you could tell he had a fast setup tonight. He started fading, and sometimes as a driver, when all of a sudden the setup starts to swing free, swing tight, you start fading positions in a hurry. You get in your own head. You start doing things that, unfortunately, it makes you go to the back, and then you make a mistake. And in this case, it's Sean Kaltenbach getting into that inside wall. I got to assume it's the only place I see him getting left front. Ooh, speaking of wall, that's Scott Glasso. That was a pretty good tag into the outside wall. You got to be careful. Those rear toe links can break pretty easily around the track, such as Dover. Yeah, that was a pretty good smack. I think he's going to be okay, but he got in the dirty air of Sean Kaltenbach out of the corner, and that's what happened. You know what? 1 second, I thought it was maybe just a coincidence. Shane Parrish, he's got it down 2 seconds now. And at what point? I mean, Carl Dotson, I don't know if he's looking at his relative or what, but at a certain point, he's got to look at that and go, all right, what's going on here? Maybe I need to pick it up, or I don't know, but we'll have to see what happens. Bryce, Ghost Racing Network founder, is in the chat. He says it's later in the day, probably why it's so quiet. It's like this later. Optimal time to stream is 7 to 9 when most people are home or off work. True, but I'll tell you what, we get some good crowds here for the FastTrack Sim Racing Cup Series. There's one night, or a couple nights, where we have had 30 to 40. PGR race a couple weeks ago, we had over 40. That was when Matthew Baker was joining me in the booth. Andrew Nieder currently sits 10th, down 2 spots from where he started. Danny Gutierrez has moved back a spot. Lost that spot to Adrian Watts as well. Jerry Isaacs, pretty good run here for the 51. It is one of the Mad Sim Racing drivers. He currently sits in 16th, up 15 spots from where he started. Jeff Shutt in 17th. Alan Bajari 18th. You kind of notice here with Dover, there's not really a lot of battles going on throughout the track anymore. We saw pretty good racing early, and the racing hasn't so much disappointed as it's just been. This is the characteristics of a Dover race. A lot of racing early, but as the run goes on and everybody gets spread out, it kind of just turns into nobody really has the grip to race too much anymore, and it's just everybody passing each other. That's where we're at now. 121 laps completed, though, so 80 laps to go, and we're coming to 79 to go. That is not that much longer. Dover's only a mile, 79 miles to go, but we still have a pit stop in between. I think we're going to see those pit stops somewhere lap 130, lap 140. Somewhere in that range, we'll have to find out. If you're just tuning in tonight, we certainly appreciate you being here. Well, knowing that we probably are going to have to go green the rest of the way, at least that's the way the run's looking, we are going to take what is hopefully our final side-by-side break. You won't miss a thing. Back live at Dover Motor Speedway, 127 of 200 complete. Well, I'll tell you what, while we were gone, I heard quite a few people tapping the wall. No cautions, nobody really destroying their race car, but every time you hear that, it makes you a little nervous. And I'll tell you what, a guy who's got to be feeling a little nervous right now is Carl Dotson. Shane Parrish is tracking him down, ladies and gentlemen. The gap is under 4 seconds. Let's compare the 2 lap times between Carl Dotson and Shane Parrish. And you can see Parrish has consistently been about 0.3 faster. And I think if you're Carl Dotson right now, you got to be looking at maybe going into the pits here early, making an adjustment, getting those 4 tires, something. Because what was almost a 10-second gap at one point has gotten erased by over 7 seconds. And could we somehow see the rookie, the guy making his first start here tonight, get the win? I'll tell you what, that would certainly be one of the craziest moments of the season, to say the least. But he's got it figured out. Tell you what, let's take a ride on board with the fastest man out on track right now. You can hear how smooth, going a little bit over to the left here to look at the cockpit view. Look how smooth the wheel and throttle input is. That car is on rails. He is not slipping and sliding at all. See, he washes up just a little bit. He kind of gets that diamond arc. Out of the corner, he doesn't pin it down too much, which I think is really helping the rear of that car keep from falling out. It's a nice tight entry. He's going to be coming up on some lappers. Carl Dotson has started to struggle a little bit with those lap cars, but overall he's been okay. The gap is down to 2.5 seconds. This right here is what's really hurting him. He is riding right in the wake of Bill Benedict, and that dirty air is keeping him from getting to the throttle as soon as he would like to. And in a short while here, these two are going to be in the same camera frame. In fact, looking back just a little bit here, you see Shane Parrish working his way out of turn 2 now as Carl Dotson's about halfway down the backstretch. I think we're in that window now where some of the guys, if they want to pit early, they can do so now. But if you want to make sure you can really use your tires, you're going to wait a bit longer. Looks like we do have one on pit road. I believe that is Johnny McCulchuk. Sure enough, it is in the 72 Capital Auto machine. He's going to fill that thing up with fuel, get 4 fresh tires. Good to go, as Joe Williamson said in the chat. Next pit is going to determine the winner. 4 tires and fill her up. Absolutely. That's what I think we're going to see everybody taking. We've put a poll out. Do you think we're going to go green the rest of the way? 100%. Or do you think we'll get another yellow? Excuse me. Looks like 2 people that voted said yes. Tell you what, I don't know. It doesn't really have that feel to it. But I don't know, we'll see it. I think if we're going to get one, though, I don't think it would be at the end. I think it'd be somewhere around 50 to go. We'll have to see. We don't have the trends that Larry Mack does in real life, but just taking a educated guess, if you will. Everybody, when they get their 4 fresh tires, this is going to be the final stint with them. Make sure you put them to good use. You don't want to overuse them too early, but you don't want to have anything left at the end when it is time to go. Jeff Marble was the other driver that I was curious if he'd have something for your leader. Scott Naslin and Jeff Marble, the other 2 who are up here in the top 5. Of course, Austin Fitzgerald, too. They've been hanging around 7 to 8 seconds back, not really closing much more, and that is what's made Shane Parrish's trip up to the front right now so extraordinary. And the thing with the lap cars is they usually battle the leader a bit harder than they battle anybody else on the track. That is because they're trying not to go either that 1 lap down or another lap down. Once they lose that lap, there's no point in fighting everybody else as hard because you don't really have anything to gain. And Carl Dotson maybe on the radio right now telling these guys to get the heck out of the way. But as I think 140 to 150, that is when I think we are definitely going to see the final pit stop. And I'll tell you what, Shane Parrish, we know he's got a flying long run car right now. Does he wait? Does he pit later? Does he pit here early? Has he made an adjustment to be better on the short run? I'm not sure, but now we're starting to see some guys creep into the pits. I believe I just saw Andrew Kotska working his way out of the pits in the 47 machine. This is one of the Mad Sim Racing drivers, and oh no, what has happened? I just looked up. Your leader, Carl Dotson, has spun it getting onto the pits. That is disastrous. I'll tell you what, I was looking down at the data. I didn't even notice, but yes, Carl Dotson has spun getting on the pit road. We're looking for him now. And oh my goodness, wow, alrighty then. He's going to spend no time spinning that thing around until now. He has got some damage, and Shane Briggs might have got into it. Boy, that was absolutely wild. That is not Shane Parrish, excuse me. Oh, yellow flag is out. Yellow flag is out. Who is it for? Alan Pajari has wrecked. And it looks like, oh, we got one in the grass too. That's Brian Watson. And hold your horses. Boy, we got a lot to break down. I do apologize to everybody for kind of missing the spin with Carl Dotson. Like I said, I was just looking down, going through the field, seeing who had pit. And he'd spun, so that's what I really want to take a look at first here. And that's what we're going to do. We'll be right back. All right, back live at Dover Motor Speedway. Let's take a look first at what happened to your leader. I mean, we talked about pit road is a very, very tricky place here at Dover. And I think it finally bit Carl Dotson here after having such a good day. So he's trying to get this thing woed up. And, oh man, I'm thinking, looks like on the transition is just going to come around on him. Oh, no, actually, I'll tell you what happened. He got in way too hot and got into the barrels. You see all the marbles on top of the track up there in 1 and 2. But sure enough, he got into the barrels, spun around. That's where he gets the damage. And Shane Parrish, or I apologize for saying Shane Briggs earlier, but Shane Parrish marched right around that. Carl Dotson wasted no time. And actually, Scott Naslin, looks like he missed pit road as well there. Watch the 22 come into the picture. He was actually doing a little drift in action to the right of your screen. There he is. He had no shot of making it. Does a heck of a job saving it, though, keeping it off the track from getting T-boned and not hitting the inside wall or the barrels. But at this point, Carl Dotson just says, all right, I'll just back this thing on up. Does a little J-turn right here and gets into his pit box. That was handing the lead over to Shane Parrish when he did that. And then now let's take a look at the yellow flag that actually did bring out the caution here involving Alan Pajari and a couple other guys. I believe it was going into turn 1. Ooh, that's Jerry. Oh, man, big stack-up effect here. Let's see what's going to happen. Go to the chopper view. This is on the front straightaway. I think everybody just gets kind of bottled up. Ooh, the 51 tags the wall. Pajari goes to go low. The 37, Brian Conklin, hits him. They spin around. Then the 34, the 51 just get back gathered up. The 04, Brian Watson, nowhere to go. Brian Conklin arrives back on the scene. Doesn't look like he's going to get any more damage, though, thankfully. Comes to a stop down the grass. Pretty big damage for that 04 car, though. Give you a couple more views of it here. Final look at it. Let's take a ride on board here, actually, let's ride on board with Alan Pajari for this one. Miles the Monster strikes here with just over 50 laps to go at Dover. And we talked about it was a self-cleaning track, and the result of that was a lot more drivers getting involved than, well, what initially caused the caution. So this is going to shake things up big time. In fact, right now, I think our scoring column might even be a little confused. Just trying to get that all sorted out right now. It's showing that Jeff Marble is your current leader, which very well might be the case, because I'll tell you what, looking at all these guys, you got to wonder, we're going to have some wave rounds and what? So we're going to see how this all sorts itself out before we get everything corrected and right here. But it's going to be, looks like we'll go green here with, as everybody gets their lap back, somewhere, it's like somewhere around 40, or excuse me, 55, nope, going to be 57 laps to go, actually, excuse me, when we go back green. Just this lap, it looks like we did get the 1 to go. And Shane Parrish is getting his lap back, and this is all a result of, even though Shane Parrish took the lead technically, all these guys that were either on pit road or came off pit road, or they were trapped a certain lap down, whatever the case was, it really makes cycling these cautions out a little bit more difficult than usual. And actually, we're not going to go green this time, as it looks like the lights are back on for the pace car. So we're going to do at least one more lap around. Cautions breed cautions, but I'll tell you who really needed that was Carl Dotson. The thing is, how bad is his damage from that spin that he had? you know, we know it's pretty good. Let's just check on, I believe this was just guys coming to a stop. We got a little data here, making sure that we didn't miss anything. It looks like, sure enough, this was just Carl Dotson coming to a slow stop. The guy's waiting on the pace car. But all of a sudden, Jeff Marble, he's been talking, I mean, he's been needing some luck to go his way, and it looks like we're not going to go green. We're going to delay it again here as admins are trying to get everything sorted out. But you know what? As I say that, you know what? Actually, Jeff's probably pretty busy right now. So I'll tell you what, let's see if we can find the rookie, Adrian Watts, anywhere in the chat to talk to here. I'm not sure. Sure enough, looks like he's on the Watson Bros. Hey, Adrian, this is all set up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but your first race out here, well, you are putting on a clinic right now. You're going to be starting on the outside line outside of Jeff Marble. You think you got the car to get this thing done?
Hopefully I can hold it back and save some tire and be there at the end.
Well, we've seen this caution come out after what looked like a pretty clean run from everybody. Do you think we're going to get some more cautions? And if we do you have a tire set left?
I got one set left, but I'm hoping it goes green.
All right, hoping it goes green for the 08. Well, thanks for talking to us, man, and good luck.
Thank you.
We're going to move Adrian back down. I'll tell you what, one of those things is always that awkwardness right after you interview a guy, but it's because you're trying to get them back down to their booth, and it's never easy. In fact, I think I just accidentally readjusted a channel, so I do apologize in advance to Jeff. Let's put that back there. This restart, though, it is going to be absolutely wild because, 55 laps to go, because we did get the one to go signal this time. That is not a lot of laps here at Dover. Short track, only a mile long. These guys are going to be going after it, but I think if Jeff Marble can get clear of the rookie on his outside, he might be able to walk away with this thing. He's had one of the better long-run cars. Unfortunate news is the guy that might have had the fastest car tonight, well, two of them, Carl Dotson, he has fallen due to the damage he had. Shane Parrish, he's here, but he's got a lot of work to do. You see that is a lot of cars he's going to have to get past. Currently scored in 6th, but it's all the lap cars that are separating him from the lead pack. All right, pace car pulls off. The alloy wheel repair specialist Ford Mustang of Jeff Marble is ready to lead him back to green. 55 laps to go at Dover. Who is going to win it? Oh, big check up further back from Glenn Grigsby. Does everybody keep it clean? That big single file line might have had trouble with it, but they do keep it clean up front. The 08 is looking to the top side. Can he get clear? No, Jeff Marble's going to hold him off. Off of turn 2, the 15 takes the lead. Down into turn 3, this is where you got to be careful. It's so tempting to go for a guy as hard as you can, but you don't want to use up the tires. We still have enough laps to where they're going to matter. Jeff Marble trying to run the bottom, taking the air away from the 08. Now he's going to open it up just a little bit. Adrian Watts, all of a sudden, he's looking to see if Jeff Marble's going to open the door. The 25 of Tracy Powers and Cody Colley, they're both going at it. Yellow flag is back in the air. This time it is going to be for Andrew Neidhart and Brian Curry. The 28 down on the apron spun. Andrew Neidhart looks like he might have some pretty good damage as well. And Andrew Neidhart may, he must have broke a toe link or something. He is just going to take it right to the pits. See what happens here. Andrew Neidhart, is he going to go for a 3-wide move? That usually doesn't work out too well here at Dover. But he had the run, and wow. Could not tell if that was a net code or if Brian Coughlin just made a huge wheel adjustment. See, they're getting down here, and all of a sudden, I think that might have been some net code. The 37 car just shot straight up the track. Gets into the 36 of Andrew Neidhart, who couldn't do anything. Danny Gutierrez, he's going to pile in. Looks like maybe gets minimal damage. The 36 back into the 37. Pretty good hit on the outside wall. And then Brian Curry, nowhere to go as well. And, big hit for Brian Curry. That is going to destroy the 28 machine. My goodness. Let's take a couple more views. We need a ride on board first here with Brian Conklin. And for anybody out there that's watching that doesn't know what I'm talking about when I say netcode, it's kind of similar to when the game thinks that these guys are going to make contact, but they never actually do. But it simulates what would have happened if they did make contact. In this case, That was shooting Brian Conklin back up back up the track and into the 36. All right, so here's Brian Conklin. It's right on board. And we're going to play this in slow when we get to it. Oh, man, that's hard to say because you see him actually turn the wheel a little bit to the right. And I cannot tell on that one. That is so borderline on whether or not he just slightly overcorrected or if there was some net code between him and Andrew Kotska. When he gets down to 36, there's a view of that impact from the 28, which is a big hit. Somehow everybody else missed it. Couldn't tell you how, but Brian Curry did not get the pretty end of this thing. See, he gasses it up too right there, trying to get by it. That's just going to amplify the impact one. Unfortunately, there was nowhere to go. Take a couple more looks at it, and in fact, you did hear the 28 blow up, so that's going to for sure end his night. Third caution here of the day, 150 of 200 completed at Dover. Your current leader is Jeff Marble, second, Adrian Watts. Tracy Powers third, Cody Colley fourth. Paige rooting on Cody. We'll see what he can do here at the end. Austin Fitzgerald rounding out the top 5. It's going to be Shane Parrish, 6th. This is what he needed, though, because this is going to put him back up to the lead pack. And he was looking like one of the fastest cars tonight. We'll see if maybe he can work his way back to the front here with what is going to be still a pretty good amount of laps, 40-something. Not a long ways overall, but enough to make up the position from where Shane Parrish starts now. Joshua Watson, he's recovered nicely after falling pretty far back. The 01 is up to 7th. Tyler Marble, 8th. Jerry Isaacs, pretty big damage, currently sitting 9th. I'd be surprised if he stays out with that damage. Cody Richardson rounding out the top 10. It's going to be Jeff Shutt in the 27 car, currently sits in 11th. And another thing to note is we only have 8 cars on the lead lap right now. And you did not see the leaders pit there, so none of those guys that are even a lap down have a chance at getting their lap back. Andrew Kotska, 12th. Danny Gutierrez, 13th. Todd Sherrill, 14th. Dave Sanders, 15th. Brian Watson, 16th. These are all guys that are on the pits, by the way. Bill Benedict, 17th. Sean Kaltenbach, 18th. Ryan Sherrill, 19th. Johnny McCulchuk, 20th. 21st, Scott Naslin, 22nd. Jacob Musso. Carl Dotson, 23rd. Jared Bundy, 24th. Brian Conklin, 25th. Brian Curry, 26th, sitting on pit road with heavy damage. I think his night might be over. Glenn Grigsby in 27th. Andrew Nieder, 28th. Scott Glasso, 29th. And Alan Pajari, Kyle Oakley. Everybody that's 30th on back, including Corey Mott, Cody Matthews, Joe Musso, Jeffrey Souza, and Ryan Haynes. They are all off track from damage that they sustained throughout this race. Well, we would have gotten an interview with Jeff Marble. I'm not going to lie. I was hoping we were going to go one more before we got one to green. But if we get another caution and he's out front, we certainly will. He is going to be leading him to green this time. Adrian Watts was just getting ready to look for potentially a pass on the lead just before we got that caution. Jeff Marble, maybe not the strongest short-run car, but if we can get to a long run, I think it might be between him and the 66. However, the 08 sounded pretty confident in his long-run car abilities. We'll see what happens here. The 11 of Cody Colley. Tracy Powers, 2 drivers looking to steal it in the second row. Austin Fitzgerald, he has a win this season. Green flag is back in the air at Dover. This time it is a phenomenal jump from Adrian Watts. He gets clear of Jeff Marble before they get to turn 1. He is going to take the lead, and Jeff Marble right now has got to be shaking his head saying, what just happened? Austin Fitzgerald races side by side. Oh, they're 3 wide further back. This could get ugly here. It looks like the 74 Wisely's going to back out of that. He wants no part of that. Cody Colley and Tracy Powers stay side by side. Jeff Marble, can he regroup and catch the 08 before he pulls away too far? Shane Parrish, he is looking to get around both of these two as they get racy, but he's got nowhere to go right now. Joshua Watson gets around the 51, and I'm telling you what, Jerry Isaacs, with as much damage as he has, he's hanging kind of strong right now somehow. Not sure if he's got new tires or what. But now Jeff Marble's getting ready to be under fire from Cody Colley in the 11, who's going to see if he can find any room to the inside. Nothing there. Shane Parrish working out to the outside of Tracy Powers. And at this point, all patience has left from these guys. We talked about Dover is already a mentally challenging track. And at the end of a Dover race, you better not accidentally throw a bad block because you are not going to make any friends doing so. Jeff Marble going to have to hand over that position to Cody Colley. season best run right now. He is up to second. The 25 of Tracy Powers. He is looking for more here. Shane Parrish, man, if he could just get around. He's not going to be able to do it, though. The 25 gets back clear. Now Joshua Watson's looking for a move. 66 is going to try to dive it down low here. The 25, Tracy Powers, trying to cut him off. Now he's looking back to the outside of Jeff Marble. Up front, we have a battle for the lead. Cody Colley gets into the outside wall. He was looking to get that position from Adrian Watts, but he tagged the outside wall, and a mistake from the 11 is going to take what was a dominant short run car here towards the end and move it back a couple spots. Oh, more contact. The 25 gets back into the 11 of Cody Colley. These guys have got to give each other a breather. They're finally starting to single file out, but that tells you the importance of restarts. How about Sean Kaltenbach? He is looking to see if maybe he can get something here from Jerry Isaacs further back. The 2, I believe, is on fresher tires because that is not for position. The 46 of Cody Richardson, on the other hand, that is for position. He is looking to get that 9th place spot from Jerry Isaacs. The 08, Adrian Watts, he was trying to pull away. It's at about 0.3 of a second. Jeff Marble right now would like to run him down, but he has got a lot of pressure from the back, or from the front bumper rather, of Tracy Powers, who is looking really fast here at Dover. You gotta wonder, is that damage that Cody Colley sustained, is it gonna be too much for him? Man, the 01 looked really fast. Let's see if we can take a look at it here from the right rear. And that's not gonna give us too good of a view here. Actually, kind of some. You see the scrapes there on the right rear as he's about to be under fire now from Joshua Watson. And ladies and gentlemen, it does not take much at an aerodynamic track such as Dover. Oh man, I hate that for Cody. He looked so fast there at the end. He absolutely tracked down your leader. Whether it was using up his stuff or that damage that he sustained, he is starting to fall back now as the 01 of Joshua Watson is going to take that 4th position. Shane Parrish, right now, I think he's going to need this thing to go green the rest of the way, and we'll see if we see that long run speed that he had earlier. But how about the rookie versus rookie battle? We have had 2 really fast rookies tonight. Adrian Watts right now is leading them. Jeff Marble second. He's still hanging around 0.3 of a second. But now we see Joshua Watson. He is going to take 3rd away from Tracy Powers. Tracy's not going to get up too easy here off turn 2. Jeff Marble looking at his mirror, probably hoping these guys stay side by side, but maybe the 01 has found something. One of the guys that really knows how to make adjustments and find speed when necessary. Ooh, Jeff Marble slipped up just a little bit in the turn there. Tracy Powers tried to take advantage. He's going to tag the outside wall a little bit, though. Jeff Marble right now is feeling the pressure. He would love to keep this position, but how long can he do it for? Now we see Adrian Watts stretch it out another 1/10 of a second. Coming to 38 laps to go. Each lap that these guys race, the harder it's going to be for them to catch the leader, but I think all 3 of them have a fast car, and but man, Tracy Powers, he continues to tag that outside wall. And finally, he's going to have to just give that spot up to Joshua Watson. You can only hold a guy off so many times before the tires are going to start to fade. And now it's Jeff Marble's turn. We'll see what he can do here with Joshua Watson. Does he let him go? No, he actually takes the defensive line. Watson looked to the high side. Nothing there. Tucks back in. Oh, he's got a good run here off forward. Sure enough, he's going to take it. Jumps to the inside of Jeff Marble. Nothing Jeff can do. He is probably going to try to hand over that position pretty easily. Sure enough, what he does. And remember, Jeff's kind of more of a long run guy, so he knows there's no point in racing once he's kind of lost that position right now. He'll give the 01 the spot, maybe make a little bit of a friend for later, and right now he's saying, I want to see those 2 leaders get racy. If Joshua Watson gets there and they start getting at it, maybe something happens. Maybe the 15 slips by and doesn't have to worry about racing either one of them. Tyler Marble, another one to note, that is a Team Marble iRacing driver. He sits 8th. Cody Richardson 9th. And Andrew Kotska with a good recovery in 10th. In fact, 3 of the Mad Sim Racing drivers, 9th, 10th, and 11th. Shane Parrish right now has fallen back to 7th. Excuse me, I cannot find my words apparently right now. But up front, the battle for the lead is tightening up. I don't know if the 08 maybe ran the tires a little too hard, too early. But man, 33 laps is a long way to still have to hold off these 3 who have now all closed up to his back bumper. I think as of right now, Joshua Watson has the fastest car, but the 08's got the clean air. You better believe he is going to try everything in his power to hold on to it. I'm not sure on whether or not these guys are going to catch lap traffic, but it may not matter because Joshua Watson's going to take the lead the hard way. Gets around him on the inside, and he gets clear. Now we'll see, can the 0-1. Oh, he gets into the outside wall, though. That was a pretty big hit. Looks like he is going to be able to hold the lead, but we have seen that a lot tonight with guys getting into the outside wall. Jeff Marble sitting in third. Can he get past the 08? Now it has Adrian Watts. Maybe lost the speed that he fired off so well with. Let's ride on board here with Jeff Marble. See him working that steering wheel. He's going to dive a little lower if he can, or a little higher. In this case, he's going to take the middle line. Trying to get some clean air. Gets a pretty big arc, and then he hugs it off of turn 2. Joshua Watson, though, he's already stretched it by a couple car lengths. And he's going to continue to try to do this. He's going to have 31 laps to do so this time at the line. We still have a chance for another caution for any of these guys that are wondering if we're going to make it the rest of the way green. I did notice, though, you see both of these cars are running the Ryko. They got the Ryko sticker on. I wonder if they're both a similar setup. Kind of an interesting little thing there. I'll tell you what, let's go through the running order through the field from back to front one more time, because after that, we are going to keep the action up front. Ryan Haynes, Jeffrey Souza, Joe Musso, Cody Matthews, Corey Mott, Kyle Oakley, Alan Pajari, Brian Curry, all off track after sustaining much damage. That was 29th through 36th. 28th is Andrew Nieder. You see he's pretty heavily damaged too, but the Team Watson Racing driver is going to try to push through and gather up as many points as he can here. Carl Dotson looks like he is now off track in the 26th position. Excuse me, 27th position. Brian Conklin is in 26th. Scott Glasso 25th. Glenn Grigsby 24th. Jared Bundy 23rd. Jacob Musso 22nd. Ryan Shiro, pretty good run tonight. Same deal for Johnny McCulchuk, who is up 13 spots there, 21st and 20th. Bill Benedict tried some strategy earlier, didn't work out, but he sits 19th. Scott Naslin, who was fast earlier, now back in the 18th spot after a spin trying to enter the pits. Sean Cundlock, he got damage after being fast early. He sits 17th. Todd Shiro 16th. Dave Sanders in 15th. Brian Watson, this is a pretty good recovery after he also got major damage. Looks like they did a pretty good job repairing that 04 machine. He sits in 14th. Jeff Shutt 13th. Danny Gutierrez 12th. Jerry Isaacs 11th. Andrew Kotska 10th. Cody Richardson 9th. Tyler Marble 8th. Shane Parrish still hanging around that 7th spot. Cody Colley 6th. Austin Fitzgerald 5th. Tracy Powers 4th. Adrian Watts is back to 3rd now, and that's because Jeff Marble has taken over 2nd. And your current leader is Joshua Watson. Joshua started to pull away a little bit, but after Adrian Watts kind of faded and Jeff Marble took that spot, he's kind of holding that gap. And if Josh makes any sort of mistake right now, you got to think Jeff is going to be there and ready to pounce. He's got 25 laps to do it, and at this point, I think both of these guys are kind of in a chess match. Both guys making sure that they can save a little bit of tire, at least until we probably hit the last 10 laps or so. But at the same time, you don't want to let that gap get too big. You always like to stay at least within mirror view of the guy in front of you, because it always makes them double think their corner just a little bit. It does look like Joshua Watson is trying to kind of take the line away from Jeffrey Marble right here. Excuse me, Jeff Marble. I don't know why I said Jeffrey, but Adrian Watts, this is still going to be a good run for the rookie here, sitting 3rd, up 13 from where he started. Same for Tracy Powers, but man, Adrian went from the lead. Like I said, maybe thinking back to himself, he'll learn from it. When he had that big of a lead, maybe he should have saved a little bit for the end or when he needed to battle. Austin Fitzgerald is looking for a top 5. Cody Colley, another driver thinking, what if he didn't get into that outside wall? What would he have had here? And Adrian Watts, he's kind of hanging tough here now. He kind of faded off, but now Jeff Marble, he's starting to fade a little bit off the bumper of Joshua Watson. Remember, clean air is always going to be the fastest. The 01 has the most downforce of this 3-car group. Looking at the track map, these guys may catch a little lap traffic before this thing is all said and done, and that's another important reason that Jeff needs to stay as close as he possibly can. They catch a lap car at a bad time, that could really hurt Joshua Watson. Maybe slow his momentum, maybe make him make a mistake. And if Jeff Marble is within the 310 buffer that he's kind of been hanging around, he could certainly capitalize on it. These three have kind of pulled away from everybody else too. Austin Fitzgerald leading this kind of second little group, if you will, of Tim and Tracy Powers kind of on their own island. Austin Fitzgerald has taken a 4th away, but they are 2.5 seconds back. Then you'll find Cody Colley, Shane Parrish, Tyler Marble 8th. Cody Richardson still in the top 10. And he's had a good short run car all night, not so much a long run car, so we'll see if he can hang on here at the end. Andrew Kotska 10th and Danny Gutierrez 11th. But Shane Parrish, we'll see. He's still got time, but man, I just think he's fallen too far back at almost 4 seconds to show off maybe the long run capabilities that car has had. And ooh, Jeff Marble maybe made a mistake here. He has all of a sudden lost 2 to 3 more tenths. And Adrian Watts is about to be on the back door looking for second. The 08's going to dive to the inside here. Jeff Marble running the top line. Off of turn 2, can the momentum stick for the 15? Boy, he almost made contact with the wall. That got really close for a second. Joshua Watson loves what he sees in his mirror. He sees 2 of his biggest competitors right now staying side by side. And he is trying to get that gap up to a second. Jeff Marble is going to fend off the charge from Adrian Watts. And now he's going to see if he can maybe set his sights again. Looks like Brian Watson is back on the pits. We saw he did have pretty significant damage though earlier. And that might indeed be why. 18 laps to go. Joshua Watson has already got, I believe it's 4 wins. We're losing count at this point on the season, but I believe 4 wins on the season. Looking to make it a handful tonight. 5 if he can get it done here at Dover. And man, this guy, it does not seem to matter. Super Speedway, short track, 1.5 miles. He seems to be fast on all. The only thing I haven't seen him on yet is a road course, but if I had to guess, I would say he's probably pretty fast on those 2. Didn't look like he was going to be the fastest car here tonight about halfway through this race. In fact, I would have told you, I don't even think he's going to finish in the top 5. But just like that, things changed. We got a couple cautions. He got himself to track position, took the lead. Oh man, the 08 slid up a little bit. The 15 of Jeff Marble also did. He had to catch it. And man, that got really close, but Adrian Watts is going to take over second place. Another driver that's starting to make a charge here now late in the going is Austin Fitzgerald. We noted he had a good long run car earlier, taking off positions, and now we'll see, can he get Jeff Marble? Don't think he's going to have enough time to get all the way up to your leader, but maybe he can pick off third, maybe even second here if he continues at the pace that he runs. And I'm kind of curious now. See if we can compare lap times here. That's Joshua Watson. Let's see what he ran here. A 23.8, 23.9. That's what Austin Fitzgerald is running. 23.8, 23.7. So a little faster for Austin Fitzgerald. Not by much and not by enough to where I think it's going to matter. 14 laps to go here at Dover. See what? Just looking at the track. Always been a cool track. It's, you know, for a mile track, it feels so much bigger. It races so much faster. And the way they have this track set up for the fans is really cool. Of course, we don't worry about that as much in iRacing, but look at the amount of seats that this place packs. All the way down the front stretch into turn 1 and 2. And turns 3 and 4 as well. Joshua Watson going by Johnny Mikulchuk. Those were some of the lap cars we were talking about. And with 13 to go, it looks like at most he's only going to have to try to work his way around 2 more. So his biggest challenge at the moment is going to be Adrian Watts, Jeff Marble, Austin Fitzgerald. Look who's found speed here all of a sudden. A 66. Shane Parrish has moved up to 5th. He saved some tire here. Boy, he got up there in a hurry. He was in 7th. 4 seconds back, and all of a sudden, 2.5. No way this guy pulls it off, right? I mean, surely. But he is on the move right now. He's going to be on Jeff Marble's bumper in a set of corners. Oh my goodness. The speed here that the 66 has found. He was saving something. I'll tell you what. He had me pulled up here in the booth. The 66 was saving something extra. He's going to get by Jeff Marble here with 10 laps to go. He's going to have a 2.5 second gap to make up. It's a lot, but don't call it impossible. Oh man, he's going to get stuck here though with Jeff Marble for a lap or so. I almost think if you're Jeff at this point, I know you're racing for every position, but man, what this guy has been able to put on right now, with all of a sudden coming back from 4 seconds down to 2.5, I almost think you got to let him go just to see what he can do. But man, the 66 just got stalled for about 2 laps trying to fend off Jeff Marble. He's finally going to get around, but those are 2 laps that he is not going to be able to get back. Joshua Watson, seeing all that in his mirror, says thank you very much. 15. And what got down to 2.5 seconds, it's going to go back up to about 3 seconds. Still 1.5 for Adrian Watts, but Joshua Watson is on a pretty comfy cruise control right now, kind of on a Sunday drive. Looking to finish this thing up. we'll keep an eye on that gap. Shane Parrish, can he do it? I'll tell you what, everybody likes an underdog story, and if he pulled this off, that would easily be the most impressive stint that I've seen a driver run of the whole season, hands down. But I just don't think he's got enough time. If he would have started a little earlier on it, I don't know. And you kind of wonder what caused him to fall back. You got to just assume he had been saving those tires, hoping for the long run. And if we would have gotten a really long run, I think he would have had something. But 2.6 seconds with 7 laps to go and a car in between you and the leader, it's just going to be too much to make up. Joshua Watson now coming up on Glenn Grigsby, and looking at the track map, this is looking like it is going to be the last car that Joshua Watson is going to have to maneuver around, and it should be clear sailing from then on out. Ooh, tapped the wall a little bit. You got to be careful here. I know he's trying to get everything that he still can out of that car. Don't want to get too much, accidentally get yourself in a wall. For what was such a grueling race for some of these guys, the racing itself had been pretty good, especially on these last couple of restarts. Did not disappoint. Looking back here just a little bit, Cody Colley trying to fight back to the top 5. He's not going to be able to get to Austin Fitzgerald, it doesn't look like. Shane Parrish might be able to pick up one more spot here. That's Adrian Watts. The rookie versus rookie battle is going to look to the inside here. Off of turn 2, excuse me. Can he get it done? And he is going to get that second spot. He's got the preferred lane, and now he gets clear of the 08. 5 laps to go. The gap is just over 2 seconds. And he would have to make up, honestly, I believe like a quarter of a second a lap at least to even have a chance. Probably more than that. Actually, no, half a second a lap, excuse me, to even have a chance. And not quite looking like it's going to go that way. And if we take the white flag, this race will be official. Scott Glasso is actually going to be another lap car that Joshua Watson is going to have to go by. I thought he'd be done with them, but looks like this should be the last lapper for sure. And after this, 2 to go. He is just looking to get the white flag. Probably going to run a little faster that lap than he has been the last 10. Because when you know you have it secured, you know you might have a fast driver behind you that you don't want to have to worry about trying to get another restart with. Push that pedal a little sooner out of the corners. 2 laps to go now for Joshua Watson. Can he hold him off to win it at Dover? Runs the middle lines through 1 and 2. One more shout out to Austin Fitzgerald up to 5th. Looks like he's not quite going to be able to get around Jeff Marble, though, before this thing's all said and done. Cody Richardson looking to finish in a top 10 spot. But off of turn 4, he can see it in the air. White flag one more time around the Monster Mile. Oh, and we have one off track. That's Danny Gutierrez. No caution. White flag, so we shouldn't get one anyway. There's the 08. Looks like he's fine. He's going to get it off track with no issues. Here he comes. One more set of corners to go for Joshua Watson. He's won at just about every track. He got 3 wins, then he got 4. Tonight he's going to make it 5. Slides it off of 4. Joshua Watson wins at the Monster Mile. And another great performance for the 01. This time he performs late when it matters most. And if we had trophies, I'll tell you what, Dover would be one of the coolest ones to get. But either way, he is going to be ecstatic about the win tonight. And you can't blame him. Shane Parrish brings home 2nd. And Adrian Watts finishes 3rd, putting both rookies in their first start here tonight on the podium. Congratulatory bump from a fellow Ryco member in the 08 of Adrian Watts. Finishes burning that 01 machine down. And actually, never mind, he's not done yet. But as he does finish up, we are going to go get your top 3 for interviews. We'll be back. All right, welcome back to Dover Motor Speedway, where we are live with interviews from your top three. Let's start with third place finisher, Adrian Watts. Adrian, you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, I'll tell you what, man. You and Shane Parrish, you guys are both rookies out here tonight. Your first start of the season, and both of you had a shot to win it, but we're focused on you here. You bring home third. Overall, a great night. Tell us about it.
Yeah, it's fun following Josh around. He's the master of this on the team, and I'm just glad to be here with him.
Well, it was a great finish, and to get a top three in your first race, you got to think that's going to spur up some momentum for you for the rest of the season. How do you take this and move on to the next races with it?
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. I'm gonna build on this and just get better every week and see if I can't beat Josh one of these weeks.
All right. Well, tell you what, thanks for talking to us. Before we let you go, is there anyone tonight you want to thank or shout out?
Just everybody, all my teammates on JBR, Jeff and Tyler for putting on the league, and you for your awesome broadcast.
All right. Well, thanks for talking to us. Congrats on the third place finish.
Thank you.
And now we're going to move on to your second place finisher, another rookie, and that is Shane Parrish. Shane, you got a copy?
I do. Thank you, Austin.
Well, I'll tell you what, man. You and Adrian, but I think you impressed me a little bit more tonight because it was your first start out here, and you almost won it. What more did you need?
About 5 laps, using my brain a little bit better there at the beginning and got into it a little bit heavier and not let so many guys pass me for the long run. Really good car in the long run. It's been that way for me all week. I've had very, very good success here all week. I just mistimed it, and it's just a driver error.
Well, I know you said you've been practicing a lot all week. You had a good long run car, but you look like you were on rails during that one long run. You caught Carl Dotson by over 8 seconds. Unfortunately, we had that caution come out. Getting a good finish here at a track like Dover and having a good long run car, how important is that for when we go to tracks similar for the rest of the season?
Very, very. This is one of my worst tracks of the year. Don't run it real well here. Haven't in the past. Just got to thank EPI and did some training with Mr. Michael Conti and a couple trainings with him this week to get ready. So ready on to Kansas. I was a little bit off. I've been practicing since Friday night at Kansas, getting ready for that this week. So I've been off coming here tonight. Turned a few laps before I come in, but needed some more. Just needed to drive it a little bit easier there on that last run. I just burnt the tire off of it too much.
Well, I'll tell you what, if this is one of your bad tracks, I'm scared to see how fast you're going to be at your good tracks. Before we let you go tonight, is there anyone else you want to thank or shout out?
Oh, yeah, I want to thank Jeff for letting me into the league. Seems to be a great league so far. Looking forward to doing some racing here. This is my first start, inaugural, so I'm really happy with the second. I want to definitely thank EPI, Mr. Conti, and all the team over there and the guys for helping me out as much as they do and providing us with really, really good setups. So it's just learning how to drive them from that point. And I want to thank you up there in the booth. I've kind of listened to you over the last couple of weeks, preparing to join the league, and like what you do a great job.
Well, thank you, man. I'll tell you what, I liked watching what you did out there tonight. Congrats on the second place finish.
Thank you very much, Austin. Enjoy your night.
All right, now we're going to move on to your winner tonight, and that is Joshua Watson. Joshua, you got a copy?
Yes, I do.
Well, we need to make a seat named after you here up here in the booth as many times as we talk to you after getting the win. You get it done here at the Monster Mile tonight. What were you thinking there when we had that caution late?
That was a big lifesaver there for us. We hurt ourselves trying to get on pit road and got busted speeding, trying to get it woed up, and that put us a couple laps down, but we were able to make an adjustment there after the first run. We were getting really loose on exit, made an adjustment, and we were able to come out and run quicker lap times than the leaders, and we were kind of getting back up there and just, needed a little bit of luck on our side, and it happened with that caution, and we were able to get back on the lead lap, get track position, and be able to fight it out there at the end for the win.
Well, we continue to see you dominate week in and week out. What is it that is making this 01 team so dominant every week?
Just not giving up, keeping in it. The whole team, JBRE racing team, Ryko Motorsports for all their setups and everything that they put out week in and week out. It has a lot to do with them and their help, a lot with the team's help. And just not giving up, even when we get down like tonight. We got down, got behind, and just kept fighting, and we're able to get a lucky caution and take advantage of what we were given and drive back up to the front.
All right, well, you're going to add another trophy to the trophy case here tonight. Before we let you go, is there any sponsors, people you want to thank or shout out?
I'd like to thank Ryko for the setups, everybody at JBRE Racing, my family and friends, my kids, my girlfriend Erin, all my kids, as you hear my little one in the background now. Jeff and Tyler for putting this on, you for the broadcast, all the sponsors from Glasgow Fire Department to Budweiser to Hoyt, Mayer Brothers, Alloy Wheel Repair Specialist. I know I'm forgetting a couple again, like always, but just everybody that makes this happen.
All right, well, congrats on the win. Add another one, and we'll see if you can tack on to the win count next week.
Thank you.
All right, well, I'll tell you what, that was 3 of the, I don't know if you would say exciting, but interesting interviews I've had in a while. I mean, 2 rookies, and then, of course, as of right now, the king of the FastTrack Sim Racing Cup Series with, I believe, 5 wins on the season now. We'll have a thing for that starting next week. But getting into your race results tonight, Joshua Watson got it done for JBR E-Racing. Shane Parrish finishes 2nd. Adrian Watts 3rd. Jeff Marble 4th. Austin Fitzgerald 5th. Cody Colley 6th. Tyler Marble 7th. Tracy Powers with a good run in 8th. Cody Richardson 9th. And his Mad Sim Racing teammate Jerry Isaacs 10th. And their 3rd teammate Andrew Kotska finishes 11th. Jeff Shutt finishes 12th. Good run for him. Same for Dave Sanders in 13th. Todd Shiro 14th. Bill Benedict 15th. Sean Kaltenbach in 16th. Scott Naslin 17th. Danny Gutierrez 18th. Ryan Shiro 19th. Johnny McCulchuk 20th. 21st is Jacob Musso. Brian Watson 22nd. Jared Bundy 23rd. Glenn Grigsby 24th. Brian Conklin 25th. Scott Glasso 26th. Andrew Nieder 27th. 28th Carl Dotson 29th. Brian Curry. Alan Pajari 30th. 31st Kyle Oakley. 32nd Corey Mott. Again, congratulations to Corey on graduating from college this week. 33rd Cody Matthews rounding out the field, and 34th and 35th, or sorry, 34th Joe Musso rounding out the field, and 35th and 36th. It's going to be Jeffrey Souza and Ryan Haynes. Well, it was a pretty good night. I mean, Dover is never going to have, it's not going to be the most exciting broadcast, I'm not going to lie, but I certainly appreciate everyone that tuned in. These guys put on a great show, and I certainly enjoyed myself up here in the booth tonight. Next place that Ghost Racing Network heads, or at least personally me, I should stop saying Ghost because me and Bryce, of course, both do different broadcasts at different times, but I will be back in the booth on Thursday for PGR's PGR's Super Speedway Series, which has been happening on Thursdays, and there's been a lot of people, 30-plus drivers. Money Racing, Matthew Baker will be joining us in the booth. The FastTrack Sim Racing Cup Series heads to Kansas next week, and until then, have a good one.